Cactus Jack sent me. Oh wait. Never mind. Sorry, wrong thing. What's up? Hey, how's it going? It is your boy, the hostess with the mostest, customer services resident bad boy, Adam Pecora here with episode 30, flirty and thriving of Requiem for a Tuesday. Welcome. Got some things to discuss. Some news. A lot of exciting things happening. The wheels are in motion, ladies and gentlemen, on some things. We're going to get there. But first, let me just do my regular plug-a-lug here. As always, follow me on Instagram at adam.rfat. You can email the podcast, anything you might think of. Let me know. You want to go into business together? Earlier, I was thinking about, why can't I get a fucking turkey leg? It turns out they're dirt cheap. Now, I really don't know why nobody's selling turkey legs. I get it. You got to commit the cook time, but it's like the value you would make. Tell me everybody wouldn't be buying fucking turkey legs. I don't want to go to the Ren Fair. But yeah, rfatpodcast@gmail.com for the email. And, Wolfx Multiplex. Check the music out streaming everywhere. And the link in my Instagram bio will take you to all that. So that's cool. We'll wrap that up. Rate, review, subscribe. Now we'll wrap it up. See? Knew there was something. There's always something. Always something. Speaking of there always being something. Ladies, gems, germs, and everything in between. If you're a frequent listener, which you may or may not be, I don't know. That's what's beautiful about this. I don't know what you're going through at any given moment. And, we just share our time. But if you happen to be, and if not, that's cool. On a previous episode, I kind of went through all the shitstorm bullshit of my pandemic unemployment scenario and just how breathtakingly painful and hilarious. I mean, I wouldn't have shared it if it wasn't funny. It all was, and it all was all of that. Comedy, tragedy, drama, horror, suspense, thriller, black and white, technicolor, you name it. We went through it all. And I'm proud to say that the issue is no more. I don't really know how to toot my own horn, but beep beep, bitch. We finally made it. Whew. I'm sipping on some piping hot coffee right now. I'm going to be jazzed the fuck up. Let's do this. Okay. But yeah, just to kind of bring you up to speed, basically what happened was, so leaving where we left off, I think I'd gotten shit on, that's for sure. Definitely made sure to include that. I had a hearing. Don't know if that was a part of the whole thing, but it was just like a phone thing. And it was part of like my appeal. It's like, okay, is he going to get it? And they were like, fuck no, dude. You should have filed this appeal a long ass time ago, even though, very much covered all my tracks in explaining the lateness and everything that happened in between. And they saw none of it. And they're just like, boom, you're out, technicality. So I'm like, this is fucking horrible. Of course. But what happened next was basically there were two systems in place, and I got fucked over for being too on top of it. And I know that sounds like a huge glorification of, my competence, but I was competent this time. You know what I mean? Somebody should give me a little fucking pat on the back. I did it right for once. Basically, I filed for unemployment before the pandemic program existed, which exists now and did shortly after. But basically, my scenario was, you got to apply for that one. And I'm like, well, I can't. You guys won't let me. And they're like, well, we don't know what to tell you. So I just got no money for a very long time until I was able to finagle myself a denial Finally, like literally, it was just like a little system glitch. Somebody just had to click a button. Promise. Promise it was that easy. But nothing's ever that easy, not for me. We don't make it that way. So we got all that cleared out, of which, I mean, me. Fucking running all over the place like a chicken with my head cut off. Oh, I gotta print this. I gotta mail this. I gotta get stamps. I gotta go to UPS. I gotta send a fax. It's like this primitive bullshit is crazy. So literally that day of the denial, I was able to apply for the other one, and I'm like, fuck it. I don't want to have to deal with any extraneous things here and drag out another fucking process. Because frankly, let's just say pretty desperate financial situations. It was like nothing, bro. It was like nothing. I had nothing. It was like I was 15 years old again. Couldn't leave the house. Everything cost money. I was like, oh, I should get some water. Can't. It's terrible. But anyway, definitely got the Travis Scott meal, though, just so we can all be clear. Don't get me wrong, okay? I'm not a crazy person. Let me just throw in there, shout out to Travis Scott for the most baller fucking move ever. A deal with McDonald's? Enormous. Enormous. Brilliant for both sides. Guarantee it was nothing but effective for McDonald's also. Promise. They're the best marketing on earth. What do you think? They're just going to hire some rapper randomly without a ton of thought behind it? It's like, no, Travis Scott, very safe pick. You don't, I mean, I guess I'm not really on, gossip sites, but I feel like you don't really hear anything about the guy unless it's Jenner related, but I don't think that, like, he's out there, stirring up controversy. Overrated? Yes. Sure, that's how you end up at McDonald's. You know what I mean? You're not going to see, like, the Mos Def meal. I don't know. I couldn't think of anybody better. Give me a break. What am I supposed to be doing? Entertaining you? Oh. That didn't go as planned. So let's just trek on forward from that. So I did not want to, I wanted to avoid all extra bullshit. I didn't want to have to deal with that stuff going on and on and on. And next thing you know, it's like fucking Thanksgiving and, I'm $6,000 in the hole or some bullshit. Especially, football starting, betting season's here. I need cash, baby. So I sent them all the shit. I sent them all my appeal shit. I sent them everything the second after I applied. I ran around, printed out documents and shit. And I was like, look, here's all the information you're going to need that I needed over the course of months for this other thing to fucking happen. So I sent it all in at once. Didn't hear back. Then one day they're just like, you're good. Boom. Couple days later, lump sum, baby. March to present. We made it, okay? Not going to disclose numbers here, but let me just say, I got taken care of. I know a couple guys down there. That's not true. I got what everybody got. But all good on that front, which is huge. The saga fucking ended positively. It was like, it had to, frankly, because I was almost not, for a stretch, right at the end, right after the appeal, I was like, I'm not even going to look for jobs until this goes through. I'm like protesting my search, okay? But now we're back on the search because now, back in the swing of things. Did some good things, got some things invested, paid back all the debts that accumulated over time, and some exciting stuff, some exciting news. It was hard for me to get 9 minutes in. Before I could talk about it, I wanted to blurt it from the fucking rooftops the second I pushed record, hit me up. But, exciting stuff. This is not a bit. This is not a drill. So another thing from, that I've talked about before on the show in previous episodes was trying to get, some things together for the program. It's pretty hard out here, You can't really just drop the pod and move on. I'm trying to build a brand here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm a mogul, okay? I'm a 3-sport athlete. Jesus, that was hard to say. That would be a good shirt, though. Just 3-sport athlete right on the chest. Make sure it comes in like 2 and 3XL. Let the big boys rep. There's nothing like good irony for the big boys to rock on their tees. Remember Big Dog Sportswear used to go all the time. Throwing back to Kenosha. They had a store. It was funny. It was funny, okay? I don't know what happened. The 2000s were weird. Not that things are going great so far. I'm just saying. Shit doesn't add up. I mean, I'm glad I was a child because I don't really know what was going on. But I wouldn't have liked it. So, glad we powered through that whole thing. Got the kindergarten out of the way right at the millennium. It was like I could have just been exposed to so many large, oversized pairs of pants, leather jackets. I mean, even as a child, I was doing the spiked hair right in the front, just at the front. Literally nobody tries that anymore. That died in 2003 or something. That went down with the second tower. You know, and what am I going to wear? Like these pleather jackets? Oh, look like Joe Rogan on Fear Factor. No, thank you. But we got some stuff coming. So, looking at it, I don't want to announce, okay? But everything's on order, so of the things I'm going to name. So, I don't know exactly what the plan is, right? But I got some stickers. I'm going to try to slap those all around as much as I can. We got totes on the way. Very excited to see how those come out because I really tried to make that something that would just be generally appealing while being like tied to the show, you know, and being like a piece of show merch, but also like being its own thing. That was a thing that I was conscious of that I wanted to make happen. I got some pins on the way in a very cool format that I'm happy I was able to figure it out. What else? And then just like some little pens, you know. Turns out very cheap to get your thing printed on generic pens. So I highly recommend that. But it's exciting. That was one of the big things I wanted to do. So of all the upgrade things that happened, that was the route that I chose to go with the podcast stuff. In the music route, I upgraded some equipment, added some new stuff, posted like some stories of it on Instagram, but don't really want to announce all my music things because I don't really know how that's all going to work together. And there's certainly not anything dropping anytime soon. That sounds like it is, but I meant it. So don't read into that at all. And I mean it. Don't read into it. This just doesn't work. It's like the boy who cried wolf. I can't fucking get it. Wolf X? Jesus, it never ends with this guy. He never fucking quits. Just take something seriously for a second. All right? Anyway. So yeah, that's coming soon. Not sure, like I said, how that setup is gonna be. I don't know, like what's gonna be like a sale thing, what's gonna be a like handout thing, what's gonna be like like a bonus item. I don't know what's gonna be what or any of that stuff. Kind of just waiting for it all to trickle in one by one. Some stuff's like coming internationally, so we're on a timeline for it. But that's gonna be mid-October is what we're looking at, possibly later, for everything to be together, and I really don't want to do a thing until it's all together. So this is like a heads up for what's going on forward. Yeah. Sadly, I know I did the van fantasy that I talked about, which came into play for a minute. Like I was really thinking about like how I'm gonna divide up this lump sum, let's call it. But again, like I would say maybe 25% of it went into like, okay, I can use this. Everything else was like it was going somewhere. I was moving everything around. Getting heavy into the stock game, ladies and gentlemen. So hopefully that glow up keeps going. Really, they should tell me what I'm doing. I hope the app just figures out that I don't get it, and they're like, "Bro, you really, really don't understand. We'll guide you in the right direction. Come on, Robin Hood, do that for me, please, before I piss it all away." But sadly, the van thing didn't end up having the budget for all of it. Did enter one of those contests to like win one, so if all is right with all fortunes, I will have struggled to win this vehicle. But I'll let you know what's going on with that. I guess on one sound level, an upgrade I got a new mixer and a new microphone, so I may sound different on the next episode or the one after, because I'm gonna kind of redo my entire audio setup in general. So yeah, maybe a little more boosted, maybe a little more clear. That would be dope. Sadly, a microphone super upgrade, going like all in wasn't really in the cards, but that's probably the next thing would be like getting a fancy boy microphone. That's real pro style. Anywho, so that was that's the general big news update for this edition. With that, I will add. I another thing that I may have briefly mentioned. So there's a film project, a little passion thing that I want to work on. That should be beginning soon. And the only reason that I really mention that is at this point in time, what was keeping us on this bi-weekly schedule was just the general depression, both financial and emotional, that I was, dealing with. It was like, how are we really going to do a show every week when things are pretty consistently awful? But, now we got every single sport on earth going on. Movies are coming back. I don't really know what the hell's going on. Okay? We're really just forcing everything down our throats, and that's kind of fun. But the goal is absolutely for this to resume being a weekly show. But I don't want to commit to starting that right away because, again, like I said, there's a project I'm at least going to attempt. So definitely don't look forward to that one because I could cancel it pretty soon, which would benefit the show schedule. So if you're into silver linings, it's a win-win. So something to look out for there. But yeah, and then I don't know. So like once it went through, I was like, okay, what terrible thing is going to happen now? You know what I mean? Like that's straight where my brain goes. It's like there's no way that this good thing just happened. It's also, I think, just like the way this entire year has been globally, nationally, locally, and personally. It hasn't gone well for anyone, generally. But there's definitely some people who have been having a blast and making a lot of cash. But we don't need to dive into that mess right now. Then we're just gonna get angry. Who wants to get angry? Come on, it's Tuesday. It's Monday as I record. Just gotta keep it Christian. Keep it 100. Keep a 30 clip on me for episode 30. Yeah. So I was like, well, what fucking terrible thing can happen now? I don't have any type of confidence. It just feels weird that something would go well after everything just continued to spiral into a bad decision after bad decision. For those who don't remember the complete story, quick recap. Quit a job, then couldn't start another job because everything closed. That led to the entire gap. Bunch of terrible things in between. Definitely check out the unemployment episode if you haven't heard it already. So I'm like, I got to make a doctor's appointment. We got to run all the tests. We got to make sure because Jesus Christ, something must be wrong, Still haven't gone as of this recording, so I don't know, but I'm fine. I mean, I technically don't know, but I'm fine, right? It's just like the general level of anxiety within me is probably what most people feel like after like 2 shots of espresso, So just like that chest that you feel, that's my chest. Just eyes open in bright and early in the morning. Boom, there it is. Still tired. Don't get me wrong. The energy part of it doesn't exist. Just that chest. That espresso chest. It's the worst. I'm going to trademark that name. Don't steal it. That's also a good t-shirt. Okay? So, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, so like this year, plenty of reasons for your anxiety to go up. There's tension left and right from what people call the left and the right, from, the doctors and the non-doctors, the smart, the stupid, the weak, the tall, the poor, the heavy, you name it. There's tension left and right. So naturally, everybody's in an elevated state of panic. I'm sure the guy's going to be like, bro, I've been dishing out blood tests like you wouldn't fucking believe it. All of you motherfuckers are tweaking out here. I'd be like, hey, man, hard times, 2020. Plus if this job search doesn't spruce up, I got to cash in all the insurance I can get. Only got a few months left. You know what I'm saying? Anyway. So, yeah, that's my next move. Just making sure we're all good. But also, we're just not all good, because here's the thing. I was telling that story past tense. That was all my thoughts then. Like, oh, we got this money. What's going to happen? Something terrible. Something terrible already did happen. Ladies and gentlemen, that's right. The surprise twist. You didn't see it coming. You didn't know I was going there. You're just like, oh, man, the guy's tweaking. Wrong. I knew it. I had a gut feeling. And I was right. That's why I feel better about the doctor's appointment, frankly. Because I was tweaking for like 4 straight days about it, and then this next thing happened, and now I'm not worried about the doctor's appointment. I just want to cancel it. It's like I don't even need to go. The bad thing already happened. But it's a weird thing that happens to me. I have like a good intuition for terrible moments. It's not the best. I mean, it's good to be right about it, I guess. You can kind of prepare. But I'm always thinking ahead of bad situations anyway, and a lot of the time it's not real. You know what I mean? So I guess being right's a good validation, but, it's not really worth all the other times where I'm just making stuff up. But it's like a very, very distinct, just like intuitive feeling when it's like, I know this isn't right. No matter what anybody says or what anybody does to steer me otherwise, I just know that this is incorrect. Now, usually that means that your boy's getting dumped, ladies and gentlemen. Not going to sugarcoat it. It's happened. Believe it or not. People have walked away from all of this. I can't explain it, but sad truth. Sad truth. A lot of crazy things in this world. But this time I just knew. It's like, okay, this is going too well. I was able to put away a good amount. Again, would I have liked to spend more and buy a whole bunch of more stuff? It's like, sure, but everybody would like that all the time. It's a thing that I have to remind myself. It's like, oh, but I could have done all this stuff instead. And it's like, yeah, that would be cool short term. You got to kind of do a little bit of long term. Like, had this situation happened to me like 4 years ago, and I got the same thing, all gone. 100% of it wasted. So hopefully no regrets, as they say. Sorry if you hear like fiddling. My mic clip is all fucked up. It's really annoying. I'm sipping on the coffee, And I'm doing this for you, ladies and gentlemen, because I just mentioned the espresso chest. When I drink caffeine, specifically coffee, could have been any kind of caffeine, but not really. When I'm sipping on a hot black coffee, ladies and gentlemen. It's fine for the program, but it's going to feel like I'm on Adderall in my chest like, the rest of the night. And that's the thing. It's like the energy only perks me up for the normal amount of time. I feel all of that as everybody would. Not trying to claim I have some hypersensitivity to coffee. I wish I did. I wish one cup would keep me zooted throughout the day. But sadly, it doesn't. Instead, I get espresso chest all fucking day, and then I'm miserable. And it's like, man, I shouldn't have all that coffee. Too much coffee. Gotta fucking drink a gallon of water. Pissing all day. It's like I didn't even have any beer. This is crazy. It's really just a predicament at all times. What was I talking about? Yes. The instinct. Another trademark. The instinct. Trademark. I want that on a t-shirt with a really big TM. So it's like that's the point. Somebody would get it. Maybe. I don't know. And by get it, I mean understand it. Like if somebody happened to be wearing it, I don't know if anybody would just buy that because that sounds like not too big a seller. Yikes. You can't win them all. I'm evidence of that because that instinct of losing that I have, let me tell you, it kicked in. And it was right. And I didn't get dumped. There was no way for that to happen. So, yet again, a metaphorical dumping had to happen. This time, not shit. Luckily. It was... I suppose you could say it's worse than being shit on. Because a shower won't take it away. Oh my. But it's also definitely not worse than being shit on because I didn't end up with any shit on me. So, like, generally that's a win most of the time. But anyway, not too crazy of a thing. I'm kind of overbuilding it up here. So, couple days. So it took like a week or so for everything to like go through once it all got set up. So then there was like the stress of just like waiting for your thing because it's like, okay, well, until this actually connects and happens for real, I'm still stranded, so I'm still sad. And I was like, oh man, I thought that just the victory would be pretty sweet, and it's like, nah, definitely still need all the prizes. Love me some prizes. But anyway, so yeah, the stress just kind of kept going. Kept going, and it's like, fuck, man, just relax. You made it. You're good. Stop tripping. Couldn't stop tripping. I'm going to assume that's what led to this, unless it was my salad boom and me eating a lot of walnuts. Could be. Who fucking knows? But I broke out into like a huge eczema thing. I was going to say breakout. But I already said that I broke out. I'm not going to say I broke out into a breakout. I should have said I don't have it. I don't have it. That's why I said what I said the way I said it when I said it, and I still can't say it another way. So we're just going to have to deal with that and move on. Broke out. I broke out. And the interesting thing is, fun fact about me, if you don't already know, I'm a psoriasis guy. Not in the sense that I rep it. I mean, I guess I have to. You know what I mean? Like, if there's ever endorsement deals in my future, I'm going to be fucking hanging out with Phil Mickelson talking about being left-handed and having psoriasis. He's my hero by default. You know what I mean? Because that's all it takes to identify a person. I don't know why I said that like it was angry. That was just meant to be a bit. I don't think that I'm boxed in and I don't think that Phil Mickelson's being pigeonholed as the lefty psoriasis guy either. I think that he definitely is doing all right. But we have that in common, Phil. Hit me up. We can talk. We can talk left. we can talk scissors, bro. and we can talk skin flakes. Let me know. But so the reason why this is the whole thing. So anyway, what I was getting at was when I was like maybe 10 to 12, had little psoriasis problems. It wasn't that crazy. It was hard to deal with, especially as a kid. But wasn't that bad, wasn't that irritating, whatever. Went away over time. Didn't stay for very long, whatever. You know what I mean? Manageable. Then the way I remember it, I mean, who knows the actual timeline in between, but it's basically like as soon as that stayed cleared up, it's like, oh wait, here's a whole new thing, bro. You're getting scabby head. And that's how it started. And it's just like, why do I have all of these scabs on my head? I'm pulling them off. I'm ripping them out of my scalp. Blood all over all the time. Raw open wounds just existing on my scalp, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't intend for this to become a graphic thing. I realized as I was saying it that it's like, oh, this probably isn't good. I guess this is what we're doing. I didn't realize that I was going to be in the story time segment, or I would have said it's story time, folks. Because for the record, I realized that the only two segments, I put that in quotes, segments I have, if you want to call them segments, I don't really think that I have segments. I'm pretty ahead of the game here. We're innovative, okay? It's an original program. But if you want to call it a segment, if you have to put a label on it with your antiquated notions, the only two segments I would call are Story Time and Sports Corner, which I don't even think I've used the term on the show. That's just what I refer to it in my head. Because, that's right, I didn't even mention that. So I just kind of decided that that's where sports is going to go, in the Sports Corner. And I'm going to put it at the end every time. Because otherwise, if I started the sports segment now, it would go until the end of the show. I can talk about it too much. So it's either going to be like the last section or just like a full bonus section like last week when it went on for an extra fuck all. And that was fun. But just don't want to make this a full-on football show because I could get carried away into, doing all that. So, just focus. But anyway, so yeah, we're in the middle of story time. Everybody's favorite segment. The origin of my skins. So that's kind of how it started. I'm just fucking pulling scabs all the time. And I'm not exaggerating. I mean 20, 30, 40 a day. And this was 8th grade going into freshman year. Freshman year, terrible. I'm wearing long sleeve shirts all year, including when it gets hot, including the beginning of the year when it is hot, and jeans. My entire body is just covered in things. Terrible. I don't know how I would have developed socially. It wouldn't have gone well because it didn't go well in 7th grade. Literally latched on to a girl from 7th grade until she ruined my life when I was 20. That's the ultimate story time. There's a bunch of stories within that story. Yeah. So we're saving that one. We save the X stories for when they come up organically and we just kind of sprinkle them in. Because they're pretty wild. But, so yeah. I don't think that it was going to go well either way, but certainly didn't help to be the freak guy. Now, I kept it all in. People obviously saw things and figured it out and whatever, but I basically made it a tortured secret for no reason. I mean, the reason was because would not have gone over too well with people. If you're not familiar or you may have forgotten, high school kids, not exactly the most reasonable people. They're not rational. They're not trying to help you out. At least I was self-aware enough to not be you guys need to accept me. It's no, they don't. Know your place. So that was rough. You know, you go to a new place, new people all the time, and you're just like, oh my God, I hope nobody notices. And then, obviously, summing things up. I was too young to do the Phil Mickelson medicine at the time, so I had to go 3 times a week into a giant vertical UV light box, and it would spin in circles, and there would be a fan, and I'd have to lube up my entire body and stand there and get sunbeamed for X amount of time, and then go home. I do that 3 times a week for quite a long time, for years. The insurance company doesn't fuck with that, bro. They're like, every time I'm on anything, they're like, you've been doing it for too long. We're going to stop letting you take that. We don't want to pay for it anymore. And it's like, what is the purpose of this service? So I'm allowed to have insurance until I need medicine, and then you're like, yeah, we're not going to pay for all this medicine. Are you insane? We're just here to make money. We're not here to actually help, you know? So they would take me off of stuff, including the light therapy. Cause a lot of financial problems. You know, it just doesn't go well. It just caused a whole lot of stuff. A whole lot of stressors. Anyway, so the reason why I wanted to go on the whole storytime tangent, I could go on and on about the plights of psoriasis and what it's like. But let me just tell you, it's terrible to go through, pretty rough, when it's like raging on and you don't have it under control. Pretty much the worst thing you could imagine when you're going through puberty, you know, because all you're really trying to do is like hopefully someone will bang you, and then your entire body, head to toe, just about, is covered in fucking horrible things. And they hurt, which doesn't help, and it's all of that, and it's rough. So just a PSA. I mean, I don't know. I don't really know what the point is, you know. Just sorry I was a dick, everybody. It was hard, you know. I was, drinking myself to sleep when I'm fucking like 16 and shit. Embarrassing. It's embarrassing. You know, it's kind of just like, man up. Deal with it. But that's also coming from me as an older person now with everything under control. So, coming back in. All the time that I have had psoriasis. Now fucking I've had it for double the time. I think I got it when I was 13. You know, I'm 25 right now. So I've had it for a long time. Know how to deal with it. 14, whatever. Anyway, it's been a long time. The point that I'm trying to make is going through all of that stuff after all of this time and, finally just having it under control has literally never been better. Literally never been better. We really got it locked down. Boom, eczema comes back. Out of fucking nowhere. And that's why it's just like, dude, you've got to be kidding me. The skin stuff, it's a problem. You know what I mean? It's just so much effort and maintenance to have giant stretches of your skin be like chapped, basically. Fun stuff in this episode, by the way. I know. I'll be honest, I didn't have a lot to cover. Like I said, that usually results in story time. I've said it before, anyway. So, we're having a story time. So yeah, I mean, I kind of apologize if it's a little much, but also, like, try living it forever. Fuck off. It's not that bad. Relax. I have spared a lot of details. So I'll counter that with sharing a detail. There was a long stretch of time where it was like dick zone. It was like, bro, you know your dick? And I was like, oh yeah, I know it. And it's like, well, we're going to take it over. And it's like, you probably shouldn't do that because I'm definitely going to need to jack off like 9 times a day for the next like 6 years. So you're gonna need to figure this out. And it was rough. It would be like there would be tears. It would just be ripping apart and would hurt and would bleed. Had to do it. Isn't that crazy? Somebody give me some money. You know what I mean? It's just like, come on. You ever rip your dick skin? And, like, not in a cool, like, Johnny Depp way where it's, like, from friction. Not the case. Just happens and then makes you definitely not want to try to use it or show anybody ever. We're good now, though. If you're listening and you're curious, don't hit me up. But hit me up. But don't. That's weird. Just don't feel bad. It happened, and I'm glad that it did. See, that's the thing. It's ultimately like, would I be this guy doing this thing right now, being this wacky? Oh, I just hit my tooth on the mic. Could you imagine if I broke my bonding and chipped my tooth as well? Especially mid-episode? There could be nothing more cosmic and perfect. But it didn't happen. It will. At some point. That's for sure. So yeah, I mean, I'm cool with it now. It's fun. It's kind of fun to be like, yeah, cheese grated my dick. Was worth it. Definitely needed to bust all those nuts. But it also, let me tell you, it does make it pretty sick when your shit's just like normal. You know what I mean? It's pretty cool to wake up and be like, oh, damn, look at my elbow. It doesn't look like I fucking fell down trying to catch a pass in a parking lot. You know what I mean? It doesn't look like I dove for a fly ball like I'm in center field on a gravel street. It's smooth and it doesn't hurt when I bend it. It's like, this is dope. You guys ever bend your elbow? Everybody's like, yeah. It's like, well, it's pretty cool for me. I don't know. You guys should appreciate it. Just kidding. You shouldn't appreciate it. You shouldn't have to. You know what I mean? Some things should be pretty sick and normal all the time. Anyway, again, not a pity party. Just saying what happened. So, looping it all in together, I'm looking it up and I'm like, this can't be eczema, right? It's like, how does it go away for fucking like 10, 12 years? Like, haven't had it since the psoriasis diagnosis. Or like, if I did have it at any point, it showed up mid like psoriasis outbreak and then like hit itself underneath. You know what I mean? It was like covert. It's like, I'm going to bury you under this motherfucker. So I make a doctor's appointment, ends up in the fucking building I went to college in. It's like, Jesus, this is great. No, not collagen. I didn't get collagen. I went to college in the building. Pay attention. And they're like, yeah, bro, what the fuck's going on? How did this even happen? It doesn't really make sense, but apparently you don't really have both. Most people don't have both. You have one or the other. I had one, then the other. Now I had both. I guess technically I'm clear of one, but it's permanent. So it's all permanent. It's all fun. You never really know when it's going to go or why or what you can really do about it. So that's exciting. But the great news is that cleared it up like almost instantly. Shout out to Northwestern. They really got all the docs you could ever ask for. They're legit. You know, that's all it took for me. I went to a Northwestern office one time, and I'm like, yep, all the hype is deserved. They're the best doctors. And I mean, I don't really think there's a bunch of fake hype about doctors. You know what I mean? It's like the good med schools are the good med schools. I think that that'll always remain true unless there's a huge amount of turnover for some reason. Anyway, fine institution. Cleared me right up. But it was like, fuck, man, is the point I'm trying to make. It's like, Jesus, can we just get a good week? Just give me 7 straight days of bliss. I don't know if I've ever had that, so that's a little much. I'll be honest. But you know what I mean? It's like, fuck. But as of right now, we're on track. We're back in the business. So that's why I feel especially good about revealing all the plans. Because it seems like I can finally execute them. Because it's like, got the supplies I needed to get that shoot started. I've been referencing that I don't want to keep talking about. Because it's like, why keep talking about it if you're not going to talk about it? You know, I'm being that guy, though. can just about get started on that now because I was held back by it just hurt to walk. My thighs were burning, my elbow was burning, I was bleeding from scratching. Waking up in the middle of the night, just fucking clawing my skin open. It's terrible. It's terrible. So I wasn't motivated. And also, it just wasn't a good idea to just be running around town. I needed to lube up and lotion up like every fucking 10 minutes until I could get into that doctor's office. Anywho, that was a long-winded way of saying everything worked out, but definitely. It's always one step forward, two steps back. Paula Abdul got me figured out. I really connect with her, especially all that alcohol. I think that's a big part. But that's really how it goes. It's like I'll take like a nice big step forward and then like 2 regular steps back. So it's like I didn't lose a ton of ground there, but definitely we got to reset a little bit. And you know what? I can't complain about it. It just makes for an entertaining time. I've always liked a little bit of struggle. It makes for the better story. It makes it funnier. I'm really just about how do I get into the funniest situation possible. And a lot of the time it's subconscious at this point. It's like my brain is just trained to be like, all right, let's make this difficult, but something will happen. And then it was like I got the prescription. Go to the Jewel. I'm like, all right, I'll go to the one off the L stop. That's also off the bus. That can drop me off right at the house. Boom. I get there, like, we don't have your shit. It's going to be fucking 4 days. I'm like, lady, I'm sorry, but can't go 4 more days. I may tear all the skin off of my body in the afflicted areas. So we're going to have to do something about that. She's like, all right, don't even worry about waiting. Just get the hell out of here. I'll give you a call. I'm like, you know what, lady? You're a nice lady. And she was a nice lady. Unfortunately, I get all the way home just to get a call that it's available like down the street from where I was at. It's like, oh, well, now I got to trek a whole nother way. Whatever. That's fine. Can still take a bus pretty close by. Go over there. Bus drives by 3 different times. Wouldn't let me on. I really don't know why. I think they were doing like a COVID thing. It was pretty full, but it's like it's already full. I'm the only guy here, so just let me on the bus because you already let on too many, so I don't really understand. I was like waving at these guys, and then they're like waving back. It's like, dude, I'm not waving at you. You're the bus driver. I'm at the stop. You know, we can still wave. I'll wave when you let me on, not as you fucking drive away. So then I call fucking Lyft. And it's like, you know what? I'm just going to pay whatever it costs. Just get this fucking over with. And it all worked out in the end. Gotta say. But it was just like, Jesus, can we just let one step here be easy? Let one step here just work out smooth, and it doesn't. But then in the end, the medicine's great. So it's like, it's always like I have to like get pushed to the edge, and then the result is like, dude, why were you even mad? And it's like, yeah, you're right. I really gotta chill, bro. So yeah, all's well for now. I really don't want to jinx myself. We got that appointment coming up. Fingers crossed, Knock on wood. I think it'll be all right. Don't know what to expect. But that was a little story time, little bit of insight. Would absolutely love to share more stories if anyone's interested. That's partially what the email's for. Sending things like that. Share with me. What's your skin stuff? Let's talk skin stuff. It's terrible. It I mean, it's good. I gotta admit, I would rather have an external problem than an internal problem. External, it's like, oh, I can see it. We got to do something about it. You know what I mean? It's like there's a solution here that makes sense to me. You know what I mean? Whereas, like, I have a headache. Let me take this pill that is just some stuff that'll do stuff. Not a guy who, I'm not a fucking apothecary. You know? I don't know what's going on. Anyway, little bit of story time, but could definitely go more in depth. Just didn't want to get too graphic, considering I kind of sprung it on off the cuff. But I will. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, story time is over. It's like playtime is over. Story time is over. So we made it. We made it out of the fucking trenches. And that is super exciting. So RFAT lives on. It'll be stronger than ever. Hopefully. We'll see. I really am super excited for all that stuff to show up. You guys don't even know. That's why I keep bringing it up. You know what I mean? Months and months in the making. I will use this opportunity to segue to everybody's favorite segment that you never knew existed. Sports Corner. Welcome to Sports Corner. I'm the Sports Corner guy. So it's kind of like, yeah, we're in like this corner of the episode, you know, like the end corner. I guess that makes sense. You know what I mean when I say that, but also it's like, imagine your phone's broken or like you got up early and you really wanted some OJ, but you just like, you know, you're going close, you know. I at least leave my house without my phone all the time is the point that I'm trying to make. So you leave your house without your phone real quick to go to the store, come back. Imagine you're waiting to cross the street. Guy at the corner is just offering shit up. And you're like, hey, man, what's been going on in the world of athletics? Please let me know. I'm the guy at the corner yelling sports news in your ear. It's like you kind of trust it. This guy's loud enough. He's loud enough and talking fast enough that it seems like he maybe has an understanding of what's going on. But does he? It's hard to say. I will very gladly brag about my NFL predictions thus far. I think that they're going pretty well. There's like a couple that aren't, I guess. You know, a couple teams I didn't really talk about, like Arizona, who's doing better. I mean, you know, they have DeAndre Hopkins. I kind of did, but they might not be a playoff team. You know what I mean? A lot of people are quick to just be like, this good, bad. I don't know why that happened all of a sudden. And like I said, we ignored all the tropes. It's like some teams have to make it a year, and then they'll be good. Now, having said that, I will pivot. I won't pivot just yet. I'm going to slightly pivot. Pivot! That was for my friends, fans out there. There's a lot of good episodes, but a lot of bad ones. We got Big Dick Nick up inside of us. I could not be happier. Okay? It went exactly as planned, and it took even less time than I thought it would. Trubisky fell ass backwards into 2 wins. Played horrific football. See, the thing is, like, you look at his stats, and it's like, this guy isn't terrible. It's like, no, but he is. He is. Because we think back to, like, Rex Grossman, right? Where it was, like, horrific. It's like, he's pretty much going to get sacked, fumble, or throw an interception on, like, every play. You know what I mean? It's like we're almost definitely not. We're going to do the opposite of what we need to be doing here. Almost guaranteed. It's like we're either going to score a touchdown or give the ball right back. So it's not that bad. It's bad on a different level. And that it's like I said, it's the worst thing ever. For him to just suck, especially on being soft, it's just rough. Anyway, I'm not going to keep dogging the guy. He finally lost his fucking job. It's about time. But Happened exactly as planned. Foles comes back against the terrible Falcons. They should fucking fire everybody. Dan Quinn, I don't know how you have a job, man. And I don't feel bad for you. I really don't. The Super Bowl loss, like the worst thing I could ever imagine. But at this point, it's like they definitely deserved it. You know, it's literally who they are as a team. Because the thing I realized against the Bears, it's like it's not even just play calling. Kyle Shanahan left. Because it's also just execution, but also it's like we were on defense like 4 minutes left, and they threw the ball 3 times in a row, incomplete, like bad calls. They weren't good play calls, and people weren't open, and it didn't phase anyone. We were getting ran on the whole time, and it's just like with 4 minutes left, just run it on first down, let that play clock go all the way down, and then you're at least killing some time. They had like a 10-second possession, gave it right back to us. Can't give it to Big Dick Nick. Come on. He looked great. I mean, he threw 5 fucking touchdowns. 2 of them got called back. You know, Anthony Miller dropped one. But you know what I mean? It's just like, the guy was fucking unbelievable. It's like, yeah, this is what happens when you put a competent player. That's the thing that I was saying. It's like the team as a whole is fucking sick. We just need a guy with regular general abilities. And the guy's a Super Bowl MVP. It's like, that's enough. You know? That's huge. He's instantly the best quarterback or the most accomplished quarterback we've ever had. Because, you know, Jim McMahon, that was it. Actually, saying that, I realize that's kind of reckless. We may have at some point had a Super Bowl, a guy who won a Super Bowl as our quarterback, although I don't think so. I don't know. It doesn't matter. You get the point. Rough sports corner so far. I went from bragging about my proper prediction to throwing out things that might not be accurate. That's not what I want to do here. I'm just so excited that we finally made the move and that it happened so soon. But I mean, he was playing so bad. It's just painful. It's the only time where it's like I could do that and I meant it. You know what I mean? Could I run 45 yards on the field? No. Definitely don't have the speed for that. I'd make it 3 yards on that same play. You know, pathetic. But, like, I could catch the ball and miss a guy. I may have said that in the prediction episode, but I'll say it again. You know, I could suck too. I could throw it to nobody. It's just rough. So we finally made it out of that. Very excited. 3-0, baby. And the Colts, you know how I feel about them. So I think we got it. I think we might be 4-0. This could be our year. Probably won't. But yeah, I'm gonna stick with my East pick in the NBA as well. I think the way Miami's playing is insane, and they're a real team. Got a whole squad. The Lakers obviously have the better duo, plus Rondo, you know, in the finals. He's going to have a great finals, I think. I think if Rondo really, really crushes it, then that's how the Lakers win, because then it's like those 3, you can't do anything about it. But I feel like even if Rondo crushes it, the Heat can still easily pull away. It's just like any guy can score. They just have a ton of depth. They're fun. They're great to watch. Like, they clearly know what they're doing. They've been getting these fourth quarter pullout wins, which is the best quality. And I know that this goes against a little bit. I mean, they're playing the Lakers, so not really. But it kind of goes against the whole, like, they need to have a year first thing. Obviously, LeBron doesn't. You know, so that's why it makes sense for the Lakers that they could just go right away. But I think, like, Anthony Davis is ready. The other guys aren't ready. He can maybe get them ready, but he's going to have to, as always, except for his Miami years, carry the fucking whole team. So I don't know. It's spotty. Like, you can see him win just because LeBron is LeBron. You know? I could see it. But the way Miami's playing, like, they're the better team. As a team, they should win. You know, and it would just be better to see. Love Jimmy Butler. Wish we never got rid of him. You know, huge mistake. Always watching these guys we could have had. It's just brutal. Anyway, I'm taking Miami. By the time the next episode's out, could already be over. You know what I mean? Could be bad. I just think like when I'm watching them, it's like that's a fucking amazing basketball team, which I haven't thought about any of the teams I watched. I think like Boston has such a good core; they're almost there, you know. But they should be finals or bust next season because they've been to the conference finals like what 2 or 3 times now. So they're ready. Like that's their next hump. Otherwise, they're going to be the next OKC basically. On a not as grand of a scale, you know, but you get what I'm saying. Um, Hockey, sorry, missed the whole thing. I think it's still technically not. It's still not over, but you know it's over. Missed it. Sorry. Baseball, Cubs and Sox both won the division. Let's go. Crosstown World Series where nobody can go. Love to see it. Let's make it happen. And last but not least, pay Allen Robinson whatever fucking amount of money he wants. Are you guys out of your mind? He's so good. If he now we'll see. Now everybody will get it, I think, because the offense should open up with a real quarterback. Yeah, and this I think this is enough to know, like, is Nagy legit, which I think he is. We were 2-0 with Trubisky. Like, the fact that he was able to manage all those crazy scenarios that we were forced into and pulled these wins out of our asses. Come on. Give us some credit. You know, it wasn't pretty. It was brutal. But we got there. Thanks for listening to Sports Corner. Wasn't super prepared. Wasn't super prepared for any of this one. This was one of my fun off the cuff episodes. Everybody loves those. The cufflinks for the 30 piece. It's been fun. It's been fun. Yeah, I really, just on a last note, I really do hope that, things continue the positive trajectory that they've been on. And for the show and just all the things I discussed earlier, if that all works out as planned, what I'm getting at is I hope to go back to doing this weekly. I'm looking forward to it. Not hope to. It'll happen. Just hope to do it sooner rather than later. As of now, you'll hear me in a fortnight. Not the game. I'm not on Twitch. Kind of would like to be on Twitch, but it's like I'm pretty terrible at all games, and I'm doing this. So, although, I do a great job of crafting my Madden narratives for my fantasy draft teams. Let me just say the best move ever on your fantasy draft team in Madden, if you do franchise mode, which I know they need to fix it, it's brutal. Just stack up your defense and offensive line. Stop in like the 6th round, 7th round. You know what I mean? Check in like the first 10 rounds. Keep checking the quarterback scenario. And then just take basically any rookie. Doesn't really matter. Try to get the best one. In Madden 18, I got Mahomes. And in, Madden 20 now, I have Burrow. And within 2 seasons, all you have to do is play like decently well, which you will. And they'll be like 99s right away. Fun tip. Everybody probably knows that. Not really a thing. See, this is why I'm not on Twitch. That's why I shouldn't have done that right there. Don't judge me. But I do fun little storylines. You better believe I do. You think I could just play a game mindlessly? Nope. We got to keep everything running. We got to get that espresso chest pumping blood. Breathing oxygen. Okay? But yeah, this was a fun one. So, you'll hear me in a fortnight, as I was trying to say. Like I said, rfatpodcast@gmail.com. Please reach out with whatever you got. Would love to hear from you. Follow me on Instagram at adam.rfat. Link in bio is all the stuff. Check out my music. Check out the band's music. And, yeah. The best fucking transition ever. And, yeah. Nailed it. One last thing that I also forgot to mention. Just a fun update. I caved. And I've been watching New Girl, and I gotta say, I get it. Should have started it earlier. Everybody was right. It just seemed like one of those things. It's like, how could this be good? It just doesn't seem like this would be that good. Not a huge Zooey Deschanel fan. Still kind of not. You know, she's like very hit or miss. Love me some Jake Johnson. My gut instinct was that this show would have been better with Damon Wayans. They should have kept him. His character on the show, however, is bad. So, I'm glad that they swapped him out. Because I also finished Happy Endings. I'm going to wait because I'm going to do a both thing because of their ties together. So, I got to finish New Girl first before I can really compare the two. But thus far, Happy Endings far superior. Love it. Okay? I understand its cultish status. Kind of. There's a lot. I'm going to have a whole thing for it. It's going to be exciting. I just got to plow through like fucking 4.5 more seasons of New Girl. So that's coming. I also got to watch 2 seasons of Fargo because I know that it's anthology, but still, I am that guy. Got to watch all of it first because this new season with Chris Rock could not be more excited. So yeah. Adam.rfat on Instagram. Keep an eye out for the stuff that's coming, because it's coming. Hopefully by next episode I'll have some more details on all of that shit. And just everything in general. So, I will catch you on the next one. But before I go, remember, I are fat. You are fat. We are fat. Calculator, ladies and gentlemen.